During the intense Marineford arc in One Piece, we witness a heart-wrenching moment when Portgas D. Ace, a beloved character and Luffy's brother, meets his tragic end at the hands of Admiral Akainu. In a particularly tense moment, Vice Admiral Garp, Ace's grandfather, is held back by Fleet Admiral Sengoku to prevent him from attacking Akainu in a fit of rage. But what if Garp had broken free? Could Garp overpower Akainu? His strength is legendary. He was once on par with the Pirate King himself, Goldie Roger. Garp's combat skills are predominantly based on brute strength and proficient hand-to-hand combat. Against Akainu, whose devil fruit powers allow him to manipulate, create, and transform into magma, the battle would be both explosive and unpredictable. Akainu's powers are incredibly destructive, capable of melting almost anything and causing mass devastation. However, Garp's experience and sheer physical power could potentially give him an edge, making this a battle that could go either way. Let's explore 4 ways this story could unfold, and the world-changing consequences of these actions. In the first scenario, Garp's rage is unleashed. During the heat of battle, Admiral Akainu delivers a fatal blow to Ace, right in front of Garp. Unable to contain his fury and heartbreak, Garp breaks free from Fleet Admiral Sengoku's restraint. In an unexpected move, he charges toward Akainu, catching the Admiral and all the surrounding Marines off guard. Garp's sudden attack on Akainu stops the Marines in their tracks. As these two giants clash, the planned execution of justice on other pirates is momentarily paused. This break in the Marines' assault gives Whitebeard's allies a critical moment to breathe, regroup, and organize a counterattack. The fight that ensues is nothing short of cataclysmic. Garp, driven by the raw emotion and the pain of losing Ace, initially dominates the battle. His powerful emotion-fueled blows put Akainu on the defensive, showcasing Garp's renowned strength and combat skills. With Akainu fully engaged in fending off Garp's fierce attacks, the Marines' strategic focus wavers. This unexpected turn of events provides the pirates an advantageous opening. Whitebeard's forces leverage this moment to strike back with renewed vigor, tipping the scales of battle. Seeing Garp, a legendary Marine, lash out against his own, deeply shakes the morale of many Marines. It sows seeds of doubt and confusion within their ranks. This act of defiance from such a respected figure could even spark dissent among Marines, causing some to question their role and the concept of absolute justice that the Marines are supposed to uphold. Garp's intervention alters the course of the war. The chaos and shift in focus allows many pirates the chance to either fight back more effectively or retreat strategically, leading to significantly fewer casualties on their side. The overall narrative of the war shifts as well, casting a shadow of doubt over the Marines' methods and motives. This event would likely stir debates and discussions about the true nature of justice and the moral grounds of the Marines' actions. In the second scenario, Garp is getting arrested. After his fight with Akainu, Garp is immediately arrested by his own comrades. His trial quickly became a spectacle, broadcast across the world and sparking widespread debate. Viewers from every corner of the globe tune in, eager to see how the world government handles the trial of such a prominent figure. This isn't just any trial, it's a moment that could define the future of justice in their world. As the details of the trial happen, public opinion leans heavily in favor of Garp. People see him not as a rebel, but as a tragic hero, someone who was pushed to his limits by the very system of justice he's dedicated his life to uphold. His emotional response to Ace's execution resonates with many, portraying him as a grandfather who lost his way in grief, rather than a criminal. The outcome of Garp's sentencing hinges on the internal politics of the Marines and the world government. If they choose to make an example of him to discourage dissent, Garp could face imprisonment or even execution. However, considering his legendary status and the public sympathy he garners, a more likely outcome might be forced retirement or a dishonorable discharge. Punishments that acknowledge his past contributions, but also remove him from any position of influence. Garp's trial and the circumstances surrounding it lay bare the cracks within the world government's facade. As the trial is publicized, more people begin to question the legitimacy and justice of the world government's actions. This growing skepticism can inspire other factions within the Marines, who may already be disillusioned, to either leave the workforce or to work internally to reform it. Additionally, groups like the Revolutionary Army might find new recruits more easily, as people begin to lose faith in the government. The sight of a legendary Marine like Garp standing up against the world government serves as a powerful symbol for pirates across the seas. It bolsters their resolve and validates their defiance against the Marines. Pirate activities could see an uptick, with groups taking bolder actions and possibly aligning more closely with revolutionary ideals. This could lead to an era of increased piracy and more aggressive confrontations with the government, shifting the power dynamics in the seas. In the third and last scenario, there's more of a long-term impact and a new world order. The internal conflict and public dissent within the Marines could lead to a perceived weakness in their authority. As the Marine leadership is questioned and their internal structure becomes unstable, this vacuum allows for new powers to rise. Pirate alliances, seeing the opportunity, grow bolder and more organized, forming significant threats to global stability. Meanwhile, revolutionary forces, perhaps led by characters like Dragon, capitalize on the Marines' disarray to bolster their ranks and push their agenda. Akainu, known for his rigid and ruthless pursuit of absolute justice, faces severe criticism for his role in escalating the conflict that led to Garp's drastic actions. His reputation suffers, and he might face demotion or even dismissal. In a desperate bid to regain control and trust, Akainu could take radical measures, possibly shifting his tactics or hardening his resolve against enemies of the Marines, leading to a period of intense and brutal crackdowns. In response to the growing unrest and the shifting public perception, the world government may initiate a series of reforms aimed at restoring their credibility. Alternatively, they could impose even stricter crackdowns, trying to enforce control through increased military actions and stricter laws, potentially leading to a more authoritarian regime. With the image of Garp's defiance as a rallying point, Dragon and the Revolutionary Army find their cause gaining unprecedented momentum. Support floods in from those disillusioned with the world government's response to crisis. This newfound support enables more aggressive actions against the government, possibly leading to significant battles and confrontations that were previously unthinkable. In this last and fourth scenario, the Marines get divided. As Garp unleashes his fury on Akainu, driven by the devastating loss of his grandson Ace, the Marine forces find themselves in turmoil. This moment of unprecedented defiance from a revered figure like Garp creates a divide among the Marines, many of whom have looked up to him as a pillar of strength and integrity. Amid this chaos, high-ranking officers are forced to choose sides. Some, torn between their loyalty to Garp and their duty to the world government, are hesitant on how to react. Notably, Admiral Aokiji, known for his more compassionate and just approach to Marine law, steps into the fray. The internal conflict within the Marines becomes palpable. On one side, some Marines rallying behind Garp, empathizing with his grief and understanding his motives. They too feel the sting of the world government's often harsh policies. On the other side, staunch supporters of the world government, upholding the strict code of absolute justice, see Garp's actions as betrayal and move to subdue him. Aokiji, ever the mediator, intervenes, not with the intent to fight, but to calm the tensions. His efforts focus on de-escalating the situation, trying to find a middle ground where resolutions can be discussed without further violence. His actions during this critical time showcase his leadership qualities and his differing views on how justice should be administered. Following the war, the internal divisions and the public reactions to the event at Marineford lead to significant changes within the Marine structure. Aokiji's role as a peacemaker and a leader who can unite various factions under a common, more compassionate vision of justice puts him in a favorable position. This ultimately influences his nomination for the Fleet Admiral position, presenting an alternative path to the one that led Akainu to power in the original story. The public's trust in the Marines suffers greatly. Watching a beloved hero like Garp being labeled a traitor and witnessing the Marines divided against each other shakes their faith in the institution meant to protect them. This erosion of trust leads to greater public sympathy for pirates and revolutionaries who oppose the world government. In the wake of these events, Garp's career in the Marines comes to a heartbreaking end. Depending on how the events could happen, he could either resign in disillusionment or be expelled for his actions. His future might involve joining his son Dragon in the Revolutionary Army, driven by a newfound resolve to correct the injustices of the world government, or he might choose to retire from the turbulent world he's known, seeking a quieter, more reflective life. And there you have it, folks. Garp's decision to attack a fellow high-ranking officer could have weakened the perceived invulnerability of the Marines, potentially emboldening pirates and revolutionaries. The ripple effects might have led to a more fragmented world, where the central authority of the world government is challenged. If Garp had broken ranks and attacked Akainu, it would have sent shockwaves through the storyline. And if you're curious about the strongest devil fruits, well, that's the subject of this other video. Click on this video to see the top 10 strongest devil fruits in One Piece. Go ahead, click it.